We open this special edition of Smash Writing with a poem.
Okay.
Poem.
Read the poem.
Keep away from Pumpkinhead, unless you are tired of living. His enemies are mostly dead. He's mean and unforgiving. Laugh at him and you are undone. But, in some dreadful fashion, vengeance he considers fun, and plans it with a passion. Time will not erase or blot a plot that he has brewed. It's when you think he's forgotten, he's conjuring your undoing. Bolted doors and windows barred, guard dogs prowling the yard. Won't protect you in your bed, nothing will from Pumpkinhead.
And with that, we say, welcome to Smash Writing.
That is my brain in a nutshell.
Welcome to Smash Writing. And today's episode, we, of course, as you just heard, we are reviewing the movie
Pumpkinhead. One of the all-time greats.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be up there in the top 10 as a... This film really has stand out, so go ahead, because you even told me about the comics, so you go ahead and introduce us to the plot of Pumpkinhead.
The plot of the movie opens up with Pumpkinhead killing someone. The neighbors are not listening, or they're listening, but they're not going to get involved, because that's not how things work.
That's Tom Harley and his dad, Tom Sr. Yeah.
That you don't get involved in that stuff, and that's where they're at. They know what's happening. This guy must have done something wrong, and they are not going to risk their lives for him. So the guy dies, and they moves on, and you see the child as an adult.
Yep.
He has a kid now. He runs his own little store, and you have a group of vacationers, campers, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, I would say campers.
And they're coming through, and the dad has to go run something somewhere, and he leaves his son and the dog at the store. When the campers are riding their bikes around, and the one hits the boy when the boy came running out to get the dog.
Kills him.
He kills him. And the one guy stays to wait for the dad to come back, while the guy who hits him, he flees. He's out.
Hit and run.
And then the dad comes back, and he sees his boy dead. He takes him to go find the witch, to bring Pumpkinhead and get vengeance for what happened to his son. And the monster comes after him, but the dad realizes there is a big price, and he is seeing through the eyes of the Pumpkinhead every time Pumpkinhead kills one of them.
His victims and feels their pain and everything.
And so he tries to undo it, but he can't anymore because the wheels are already in motion.
Wow. So, and, this is the moral of the plot is vengeance the right way?
There's a lot going on with this story, like I've talked about before. Like you have you shouldn't seek vengeance story going in here. The price you pay for vengeance. Then you have accountability in the way that this guy could have circumvented everything had he just... It wasn't his fault. It was an actual accident. He did not mean to hit the kid.
Yeah, it just made it... The tough, with the accident part is, because it was right
this
off
guy,
the bat, the asshole.
Yeah, it was the asshole guy. It's the character you don't like.
Right off the bat.
He's drinking. He shouldn't have been on the bike in the first place. And then you have the kid, this freak incident where he's coming over. There's nothing he can do. Even if he was sober, there's nothing he can do in this situation to circumvent hitting the kid.
Yeah. So then, automatically right off the bat, he makes it worse by fleeing.
Yeah.
Then
he's on parole. Or
he's on probation for a crime
was it a DUI he was on probation?
I think so.
Yeah.
But obviously murder and breaking probation would be a life sentence.
They're not even going to care that it was an accident.
Yeah, and which by all accounts it would have been an accident in even today's time. However, because he flees the scene and then he just
he takes them all hostage at that point. He's not going to jail, but they do talk him down. He's just a scared guy.
Yeah, because he realized, he obviously, he was under the influence. But then you got look at Tom's side of things. You don't confront him, you don't get mad at him for bringing the Pumpkinhead alive because, he just lost his son. And obviously...
It was like he knew what he was doing. Because he'd heard it when he was a kid.
Yeah. You probably would want to do the same thing. Because I'm assuming we never met Billy's mother, so so this father and son bond is very important. And of course, they
do a good job building that father-son bond at the beginning of the movie.
You see that it's just the two of them. Billy is a young kid. It's not like he's like 15 and this happens. He's like 7. So there is a bond there, and a father and son is a strong bond, and you don't blame for getting vengeance. The added aspect that he sees what Pumpkinhead's doing, will haunt anybody. You're just basically putting gasoline on the fire.
Yeah. It's so much deeper than just a monster movie.
It really is.
Especially at the time when it was just monsters and slashers. This really dug deep and gave you something good.
Yeah. So that was like the plot. And of course, that it ends with Tom knowing what he has to do.
Yeah.
And even though he failed at doing that, because they still had to finish killing him.
He tried to kill, because he realized that if he takes damage, the monster takes damage.
Yep.
So he tried to kill himself, but he didn't actually finish the job kind of deal. And the woman had to come and finish the job for him to keep the monster at bay.
And it worked. And it's, it's one of those things like, suicide might have been his only way out, because after all of that, when he realized what he did was wrong, vengeance is a nasty thing to seek out. He was never going to be the same either way. So that's basically the plot.
Yeah.
A good monster tale. Now we get into the other parts of the movie. The acting. How we feel about the story. The story was fine. The graphics. Now, you said this in one of the other episodes regarding Pumpkinhead and CGI.
I love the look of this monster. The prosthetic, the costume was tremendous. He is a terrifying creature to look at and just have coming after you. Like, you just see those long arms stretch down and grab you and pull you.
That egg-looking head.
Just starts clawing at you, the misshaped head. His shoulders that stick up above his head and everything. His head is forward set.
They really designed a monster to give you nightmares.
Yeah.
Definitely as a kid, you're watching this and you're like, oh.
Ed, and the dad's name is Ed, not Tom. My bad. Ed. I knew that didn't sound right.
Wait, Ed Harley. His dad's name was Tom.
The drunk, his name's Joel.
Okay. It's crazy when, you think about certain movies from different time. I always say CGI is a gift and a curse. Sometimes a lot of movies rely too much on CGI and not enough practical effects. Like you said, Pumpkinhead needs to be a practical effect, an animatronic. It doesn't need to be computer animated because it ruins the value of how scary he can be. And when you make him into, a practical effect monster, it looks so real. The dialogue with the supporting characters were a little bit on the cheap end.
Bunt was really good. The kid who was helping, he helped.
Oh yeah,
find him and then help.
He's the asshole kid that you want to punch.
He was a good kid though.
He didn't take what he was doing serious. He was just being.
Well, he's a kid.
Yeah.
He didn't There's believing the monster and there's legend monster, and he had the knowledge of the.
But he was still smart enough to know when Ed was taken. He's like, I only want to go part of the way to the witch's house.
Yeah, he knows not to go near the witch.
Yeah, and
Haggis is the witch.
Okay.
Florence Schaffler, who played Haggis, was amazing. She was so good.
And she played that dark role, and she.
When he was yelling "Damn you!" and she's like, "Already am, Ed. Already am." She was good. Lance Henriksen as Ed, that was perfect.
And they brought him back for 3.
Yeah, let's not talk about 3. We're talking about 1.
Yeah,
Less we talk about 3, the better off we are.
Justin can't stand it.
CGI Pumpkinhead.
That's all you got to say.
The guy who played Pumpkinhead too, Tom Woodrow Jr. Great job. Great job. The cameraman let him down in one aspect though.
The shoes.
The shoes. For those who don't know, there is a shot where he's picking up Bunt. I believe he's picking up, was it Bunt or Tracy? Where the cameraman pans out too far and you see Pumpkinhead's rocking the Nike.
I almost want to go back and watch that and frame it at that point. Like, oh my god, there it is. It always amazes me when editing, like,
it's
when
such
editing
a small,
happens. Yeah.
It is such a small thing though. I didn't know it was there until I read it. And then I'm like, no. And I watched it. I'm like, oh my god, there it is.
It's crazy. And it still even happens today. It's like...
Well, especially since like the ratios have changed.
Yeah.
So you're seeing things you shouldn't have seen.
Right. But the fact that like that type of stuff still happens cracks me because it's like there are people in the film crew's job is to watch for stuff like that.
Well, it's such a small little minor thing again. Like, it's easy to miss something small. Look at the Starbucks cup in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
You overlook it because you don't expect to see it.
Yeah, because, they're like, okay, well, we're only going to film this scene from, like, your chest up so the table won't be in it.
Yeah.
So, get your cup and drink, because they're always on set for hours at a time. But, yeah, the shoes, when you told me about the shoes, I've watched it a couple times since, and it blows by you so quickly. So
yeah. Like it's just one scene, like one frame. He's rocking the Nikes in one frame. But that monster's great looking monster. The acting is on par. I really like the acting. I love the poem. Both the doors and dogs on the prowl.
That you open this
I opened it with.
episode.
I have to open it. That poem needs more recognition. This movie needs more recognition.
You know what? Like, it does have a good following. And I, first time I watched it, I liked it. It's not like I grew to watch it. I watched it. It was one of those movies where I remember watching it as a kid, and then I grew and I forgot the name of it, and then I was like, "What is that movie?" Because I want to watch it.
I grew up with this movie. I watched this all the time when I was a kid.
See, I watched it a few times, and like I said, then I grew up and moved on with other things in my life, but then I wanted to watch it. I'm like, what is that name?
I had it on VHS, and whenever I switched to DVD players, that was one of the first DVDs I tracked down so I can have it on DVD.
Nice. Yeah, I do that with some of my movies as well.
You get the DVD, and you're like, I get the Blu-ray, I can get the 4K. It's all the same.
I've calmed that down.
The biggest scams are just... It's 4K HD 3D Masterpiece Edition. Yeah, I'll spend $50 on that.
I've calmed down in recent memory now. That was early on, but now DVDs, Blu-rays, 4Ks. If I can, whatever way I can get the film, I'll get the film. So, how do you?
S tier movie. This is God tier movie.
I'm very picky with my S level films. So I'm the only negative some of the dialogue with the supporting characters, with like the dialogue with the witch, with Ed, were on point. Even with the Wallace character that's preaching, don't go seeking
George Buck Flowers. I love that guy.
Yeah.
He's in so many movies that I've watched as a kid. Buck.
He was part of your childhood.
He was in this. He was in Big Live, Wishmaster.
Really?
He was in he was the homeless man who wished cancer on the pharmacist.
Oh, yeah.
He's always the homeless man. Always the homeless man.
But some of the side dialogue with the supporting characters were kind of on the cheesy end. And that's what probably dropped. I give this film overall probably a 97. This is a great horror movie to watch. It's definitely going to be ones that's going to survive the test of time. The franchise as a whole, we have our doubts with that, but this film was really a really great film, and the name just it's like Halloween with the holiday, Pumpkinhead. It just sells. Like how the holiday Halloween will sell you to watch this movie. So yeah, I'm giving it about 97. Really, I mean, like I said, the dialogue with the supporting characters is just nitpicking. So really can't complain. Enjoy watching. We'll continue to watch it through the years. But that is our review of the film Pumpkinhead. Until next time.
Bye bye.